Hi, welcome to Between Techie. So in this video we are going to learn about constructors. If you want to learn about what is class, what is object and how we can create object and class, you can refer to my previous videos. Let's get started with constructor. There are few points. Constructors are used to initialize and instantiate. The constructor is a special method present in Python. The constructors get invoked as soon as the object created. Remember this slide? The constructors get invoked as soon as the object created. There are two types of constructor. One is default constructor, another one is custom constructor. Let's see what is default constructor. Default constructor is nothing but it is not explicitly present. That means not directly present or visible. Alright. Next is custom constructor. Any user defined constructor are called as custom constructor. To define one constructor, let's see what is the syntax. So syntax is class, class name, colon. In the next line, with one tab space, we'll define the constructor. So for defining constructor, we need to use def keyword. You can see here def keyword. Underscore underscore init underscore underscore then self and then colon. Once you hit the enter, it will be taking to the next line with one tab space and then you can write your logic. Alright, next you can create the object and you can go for run the execution. Alright, let's see some examples. So in my previous video we learned about what is a class, what is the object, how we can create and creating a method inside the class. So what is default constructor? It is not explicitly present, and as I told you, the constructors get invoked as soon as the object is created. Alright, so here we have created one object equals to class A, class name I have taken, so class A. So that means immediately the default constructor, or you can say immediately the constructor get invoked. Here we have not defined any explicitly any kind of constructor. That is why here the constructor whichever get invoked, that is default constructor, which is not visible. Alright, so let's see the constructor example. I mean the user defined or custom constructor example. Alright, let me just clear it. So I'll take one class A. Next I'll create a constructor def underscore underscore init underscore underscore, what did I say, self. I'll take self here. Alright, so next I'll print something. let's say print constructor invoked. All right, now I'll create the object. Object equals to class name. Okay, why it is throwing an error? Because I have not given the double quote. All right, let me just give a note here. This is custom constructor. Okay, let's run it. You can see. So when we create the object, immediately it invoked the constructor. The constructor has been invoked. All right, so now we have given self here and we are not passing any values as we didn't give any kind of parameter here. So that is why only self I have given and it is printing constructor invoked. All right, so let's say we'll take another example. Suppose I'll take class A. Next is def underscore underscore init underscore underscore. I'll take self comma A. All right, so now why it is throwing error? Okay, now I'll take self dot, suppose I'll take another variable age equals to A. Okay, so now I'll create a method def self. Here I'll print something self dot A. All right, so till here let me write the code, then I'll explain. A, and I'm passing some value 100. Next is object dot disp. Okay, so here while I have created one object, so I have given A within bracket, I am passing one value that is 100. All right, so that means immediately it invoked to my class whatever the constructor is there, so it will be invoked to the constructor directly, right? So now we can see we have created the constructor here and whatever value we have passed, that will be stored in A. So we are using another variable as age. So self.age is A. So I am just assigning the A value to self.age, and I can use the self.age or self.a also we can use. Okay, let's see. A object has no attribute A. Okay, why? Because we have taken age. All right, so we can give here self.age. Okay, let's try with only A. A value is also same 100, right? Let's try. See, name A is not defined. Did you mean capital A? That means whatever we have passed the value to the constructor, so then in the next line we have to define or we have to assign that value to another variable. Okay, suppose I'll take A here. That doesn't mean this A and this A both are same. You can see this is highlighting this A and this A. Alright, suppose I'll take here self dot A. So this is going to highlight here. You can see. That means these two A are same, but these two A are same. But this A and this A, these are not same. Okay. So this is about the custom constructor. Let's run it. We'll be getting 100. Alright. So next, we'll take another example. Let me comment it. Suppose I'll take class A. I'll go with the same standard. Okay. Suppose I'll predefine A1 equals to 80. Okay, I have taken one variable A1 before creating the constructor. Alright, let's say def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self comma A. Alright, and here let's say self dot age equals to A. Okay, so next I'll create a method days, and here I am going to print self dot age. Okay, so here let's create one object equals to capital A, and I am passing some value 100, or let's say 90. I'm just passing 90 here. Alright, so let's call this method here. Okay, so here we have taken A1 equals to 80. Alright, and now we have created the constructor def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self comma A. Self dot age, we have assigned the A value. Okay, so here we are passing 90, so same 90 value will be assigned to self dot age. And def days, we have created the method, this method here, and we are printing self dot age. Okay, so let's see what should be the answer. See, it's 90. Okay, so now if I'll mention here A1, suppose I am passing A1 here, because A1 already I have taken here, and here I am just assigning the same value. It will be throwing me error. Why? Because you can see name error. Name A1 is not defined. Did you mean self.A1? Right? So I'll take, let me take here A1 here. Okay, so let me use the A1 also here. So previously A1 is 80. Now we have called this method through the object, and the object is nothing but the class A, right? We have created the object for class A, and we are passing the value is 90. So previously A1 was 80, and we are assigning the a value, that is 90, to a1. A1 is now self.a1 is 90. Let's see. So that value has been changed. Okay, so this is one example. Let's see another example for custom constructor. Suppose I am taking class A, def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self dot self comma A. Then I'll mention self dot A equals to A. Okay. A. Now I'll change the value. Let me mention A is equal to 80. Okay. Then I'll print self dot A, and I'll print also A. So I'll create one object equals to class A. Let me pass 100 here. Okay, so let's understand this program. Okay, so how the memory location is working here. All right, so I have created one class, that is A, and I have defined one constructor. Okay, and I have mentioned the parameters self comma A, right? So self dot A I am initializing, and I am assigning self dot A equals to A value. So as soon as we have created the object, the constructor will be invoked, right? So what is the value we have passed? 100. So A value is 100 now. All right, so A value is 100. So self dot A means it will be the same value we have assigned to self dot A, right? Self dot A equals to this A, right? So now self dot A means self dot A value will be 100, right? But we have created another variable, that is A is equal to 80. Okay, so this is the same A, but self dot A, before changing the value of A, we have already assigned the A value to self dot A. So self dot A value will be 100 and A value will be 100. Now we are changing the value of A. A value will be 80. So self dot A value will be 100 and A value will be changing it as 80. So now if we will print the both self dot A and we'll be printing the A value, so the answer will be 100 and 80. See the output, 100 and 80. All right, so this is the example for custom constructor. All right, let's see our slide. Next is initializing the variable inside the method. Initializing the variable inside the method. Suppose we have a method. Inside that method, we can initialize the variable, right? So you can note down, constructor does not get invoked at the object level because the constructor is invoked at the time of object creation, right? So that means whenever we are creating the object, at that time only the constructor will be get invoked, not in the object level. All right, let's see some example. Let me just comment it. Okay, so let's take a class. I'm creating one class A. Next is, suppose I'll take a equals to 10. I'm assigning one value to a variable. Then I'll create one method, that is def dis self comma x. Alright, next I'll assign self dot name equals to x, whatever the x value I'll be passing. So same x value I'm just assigning to self dot name. Okay, now I'll print, not here, print self dot name. Okay, now I'll create the object equals to what I said, it should be the class name. So our class name is A. Alright, next I need to call the method object dot disp. Here I need to pass some value because I have taken here as an argument self comma x. So for x I need to pass some value. So let's say I'll mention between techie. Okay, let's run it. See, so before we learnt about to initialize the variable inside the constructor, right? So now we have created the method and we have initialized the variable inside the method. Okay, here you can see this is the self.name equals to x. We have initialized the variable self.name. This is the variable we have initialized inside the method. This is our method definition. Def this method we have created, here only we have defined. Alright, so let's see another example. Let's say class A equals to 10. Let's create def create one method disp. Okay, suppose I am taking self comma x, so I need to initialize self dot name equals to x. Okay, now I'll print self dot name, print self dot name. Alright, so now I'll create the object equals to what I said, class name. Okay, so now I can call the method disp. What I need to pass, we need to pass one value for the argument x. Okay, so suppose I am taking between techie here. Alright, so I'll create another object 1 equals to same class name, then object 1 dot disp, I'll say says, then I'll create another object 2 equals to, and I'll call the same this method here, passing some value that take made easy. Okay, so let's see what I did here. Here I have created one class, okay, and I have initialized one variable with value 10. All right, and here I am just I have created one method here, def this. So here I have passed one argument x. So I have initialized self.name equals to x, and I'm printing the same, right? So now next I have created one object, okay, that is obj, and I'm calling the test method, and I'm passing one value, okay, object.test. So I can create another object and call to the same class, right? So object1 dot test equals to says some, I have passed some value here. Likewise, I have created another object, that is object2, pointing to the same class, okay, and I called the this method here through passing some value as take made easy. Let's see what will be the output. Between techie says take made easy. All right, I hope this is helpful for you. Okay, so now we'll see some example, some other example. Okay, let's take one example of okay, let me create a calculator program. Okay, let's say suppose write a program for calculator. Okay, let's see. So now we can create a class as calculator. Okay, so I'll create one constructor def init underscore then self comma, suppose I'll take two arguments here in one, because why I'm taking two arguments here, because to calculate some value, so to calculate something we need at least two values, right? Suppose a plus b, or n1 plus n2, or n1 minus n2, so like that. So that will be the needed one, right? So next I'll initialize self dot suppose I'll take num1 equals to n1 self dot num2 equals to n2. I have taken, or I have initialized these two variables. All right, so next I'll create the method def add. So I'll create methods for our operations, whichever the operation I need to perform for my calculator program, right? So here let me take self, and I'll return some value self dot num1 plus num2. Num2 means self dot num2. Okay, now this is my one method. So I'll create another method for subtraction. Sub, let's take sub for minus. Okay, let's say self. Likewise, I'll return some value with self dot num1 minus self dot num2. Okay, next is multiplication. Def, suppose I'll take mul mole for multiplication. I'll take self here, colon. Next, I'll return some value. Okay, so I'll take self dot num1 into self dot num2. Okay, so now we'll perform some logic for division. So let's create one method for division. Here also we'll be mentioning self. Next, I'll write some condition here. If self dot num2 is not equals to 0, because we cannot divide any number with 0, right? So that is why I am mentioning if the self num2 is not equals to 0, then return self dot num1 divided by self dot num2. Okay, what is happening? Okay, next is we'll have else it will return let's say it will return some message. So message will be cannot divided by 0, right? So we cannot divide any number with 0, right? So I have mentioned the same. Okay, so if I am giving this one, what will be the n1 and n2 value? Let's implement the input method here. So I have why I'm taking n1 here, because I have passed n1 and n2 here as an argument for the constructor. Okay, so I'll initialize the n1. So what will be the n1 value? It should be an integer type. Okay, integer. So let's take input method. So input method, we can mention some message. Enter the first number and enter the second number. Okay, I'll take another one, n2. Okay, so now in the next we'll create one object equals to, what is our class name? Calculator. Okay, calculator. Okay, so here I'll pass n1 comma n2. Why I am saying n1 and n2? Because I am not giving any value directly here. Instead of that, I am using the variable. Whichever the variable will be input from the user, those variable it will be going to pass. Okay, so that value, that this variable value will be passed. Okay, and same value it will be coming to the constructor as an argument, and then it will perform further steps. All right, so now I have created the object. We'll see. Let's take one choice here. Choice equals to 1. Okay, while choice is not equals to 0, then print let's take the 0 dot exit. Okay, choice means why I am given the choice. So I'll tell you. Let me write the code here. So next is print. I'll take 1 dot 1 for addition. All right, next is print 2 for subtraction. Then let me copy it. This will be multiplication. This will be division. Okay, next is choice equals to integer type, let's say input method. We can keep some message here. Enter the operation. Okay, so now we can keep the conditions. Okay, if choice is equals to double equals to 0, in this case print exiting. Okay, next we can use elif here. Elif choice equals to 1. In this case, what should be the answer? So it should print result. What will be the result? We can call the object here, call the method here through our object dot add, because choice 1 we have taken for addition. Okay, so object dot add operation. All right, so next line we'll be taking another choice. Let's take, I'll copy out. Why it is throwing an error because I have not given comma here. Okay, all right. So if the choice is 2, in that case it should call to which method? Subtraction, right? If the choice is 3, it should call to the multiplication. If the choice is 4, it should call to the division method. All right. Else, if there will be no choice or different choice we have given, or anything, any user will giving any other input, so in that case it should print invalid input. Okay, so let's understand what exactly it means. Okay, so we have created the class calculator. Here we have created the constructor. Okay, and here we have used two arguments n1 and n2, and we have initialized n1 and n2 values to the variables. Okay, and we have defined some methods. Methods are nothing but these are the business logic. Okay, def add method we have created for adding the two value. Okay, self num1 and num2, whatever we have assigned here. Okay, likewise we have created subtraction, multiplication. Here also we have given the logic for division also. All right, so next, so how it will be working? So first it will print enter the first number. Okay, and then it will print enter the second number. Okay, so once we give the two numbers, it will ask the user, like, you can give your choice. So choice is like 0 for exit. If you do not want to perform any kind of calculator or any operation, then you can exit. So for that exit you can press 0, or else if you want to add the two values, you can press 1. If you want to do the minus operation, you can press 2, or if you can press 3 for the multiplication or 4 for division. Okay, so here user will be getting one message, enter the operation. Okay, so operation means that will be nothing but your choice. Okay, 0 1 2 3 4, out of these 5 things you need to mention one number. Okay, as per that it will be performing the operation. All right, now we have taken the if condition. If choice is 0, in that case it will be exiting from our program. If choice is 1, in that case it will be calling to add operation or add method. Okay, so in that case it will be going to the add method and it will add the two values and it will be printing the result here. Okay, result will be like that. Let me mention it in capital letter. All right, so like that all these will be printed. If user will be giving the input out of 0 1 2 3 4 any other number, so in that case it should be showing me the invalid input. Okay, so let's run this program. See here, once I run, it shows me enter the first number. First number, let's say I am giving 10 and enter the second number. Let's say I'm giving 20. Okay, so what is happening here? Name choice is not defined. Determine choice. Okay, yes, choice. So I have taken it as capital letter, so that is why it is showing me error, because I told you uh, this is the case sensitive. Okay, Python is case sensitive. Let's run it again. Enter the first number 10, then enter the second number 20. See, it is asking me enter the operation. Out of these five kind of things, I need to perform the operation. Let's say I'm pressing 0, it will be mentioning exiting. Okay, now if I'll run it again. I'll mention 10, then I'll mention 20. So I want to do the addition. For that I'll need to give 1. What is happening? Enter the operation. Okay, the operation, the choice is 1. Object dot add. One second, let me see why it is not printing. Print result object dot add. Add self here. Okay, all are having one uses. See, there is some mistake in our PyCharm, I guess. Let's see again. Suppose I'll take 10, 20. Let's say multiplication. Let's do it multiply. Okay, so why it is not printing? I got the answer. Why? Because we have written the condition out of the loop, so that is why it is not printing, right? So let me just try for inside the loop. So this will be inside the loop. Let me change it to inside the loop. It will be inside the while loop. Okay, let's try. I hope this works. Now enter the first number, let's say 10. Enter the second number, let's say 20. So now I need to put the operation. I want to give, suppose 1 for addition. Let's see the result 30. Again loop is continuing. So let's say let's do the multiplication here. Multiplication is 3. So now the result is 200. Let's exiting from this. Okay, I think this will be work for you. This is little bit long program. This will be the first long program you are going to write. Okay, class calculator. We have created the constructor, and we have defined some methods which will be nothing but our logics, and we have initialized the input method. We have given the input message here, and we have created the object, and we have taken the choice. Why I have taken choice as 1? Because whenever choice is 1, so while here I have given the choice is not equals to 0. Okay, if I'll not give any choice, if I'll use anything, any other kind of variables, so the value will be randomly anything. Okay, in that case I just wanted to make it true, this condition as true always. So that is why I have given choice is 1, which is not equals to 0. Okay, 1 is not equals to 0. In that case, it should be executed. The following code should be executed. So here I have printed the message and asking to the user to input their choice. And then here I have given the condition. As per the condition, it will be printing the result, or it will be calling to the particular method, and it will be giving the result. Alright, so now we'll see we completed the constructor, and next class we are going to learn about polymorphism, which is method overloading and method overriding. I hope this video makes an effect for you. If you feel that this is really helpful to you, please like, comment, share, and please do not forget to press the bell icon to subscribe my channel. Thank you.